Okay, this is a last spur of the moment vlog. Um, I whew, I wanted to talk about Monty Oum for a bit. Um, and he passed away yesterday from allergic reaction to a surgical procedure. I'll link the actual post journal about it. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him, but I wanted to discuss it or just say my feelings on it. I was thinking about writing, typing out a blog or something, but it would probably be ranty, and I think it's just it's better for me to speak from the heart about this. So, like I said, I've never met him. I've had the opportunity recently to meet him this past New York Comic Con. I didn't take that opportunity. I actually passed by the Rooster Teeth booth, and I was tempted, because it's like I you know respected him like a lot, tremendously. He's a guy who worked his ass off, and like every time on Twitter and what he'd be like, "Here's what I'm doing," and it's like it just seemed like he was consistently working. It's like all the time, and I've been reading blogs tonight from people who were really close with him, and it's like they all pretty much say the same thing about how obsessed he was with working, and oh, why are you doing that stuff where you can be getting stuff done, and it that's the type of person that I am. um it's like so it's like I always wanted to speak with him. Like I always wanted the opportunity to talk to him, and from creator to creator, standpoint, like ambitious person to ambitious person or whatnot. Just to speak, and I had the chance and I never took it, and that's kind of bothering me today. But it just everything I'm hearing or reading about him, either from friends that I have that are friends with him, or just people I'm aware of that I follow that were good friends with him. It's just it's horrible. It's tragic because he's too young to go, and it's far too early. There was more things he was supposed to do. Ruby has been taking off, and it's building into something, and it's heart wrenching. But um, it's interesting how a man that you might not have ever met can have such an impact on what you do or how you think or how you view things and whatnot. And this is especially uh, meaningful to me. Um, for the longest time, I was such a workaholic. I would get no sleep. I'd be up till 4 in the morning. I stopped playing video games entirely because why am I going to play video games where I could be working? That's exactly how I thought. And it's like everyone asking me, "Oh, well, you're doing Shattered Heaven. That's a thing. That's really ambitious. That's going to take forever." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I want to do it. And I'm going to do it." And there's not a lot of people who understood that drive to. It's like, yes, Shattered Heaven is extremely ridiculous. It's the how much I have planned for it, the books and how far it goes and all the characters that are involved. It's ridiculously ambitious, and writing the books and getting the books out there is one thing, but to make an animated series off of it when you have no staff, you have no budget, you have friends and other voice actors that are willing to help out, but it's incredibly ambitious. There's been plenty of times where it's like I'll have a moment where I would think, "Wow, this is a lot. At what point in my life am I going to get to this part of the story animated?" It's like I'm never going to get there. But I would keep doing it, and not a lot of people understood that, and from what I've been reading and just from seeing Ruby and all that stuff, you can tell Monty is the same type of person, way more intense than ever was. My thing was I was so focused on it, it was a way to escape depression, and that's how I dealt with depression, was working. So it's like I'd feel bad. Nope, gotta work, because if I'm doing anything else, it's my mind's wandering. And recently, in December, the main issues with I had with depression kind of subsided. Like I kind of forced myself out of it, and it just got to a point where my life was just so much better. But the one negative thing that came out of that was all of January, I noticed my drive was a little down. Like I wasn't working as hard as I used to, because I wasn't trying to run or escape from something. I just was. So I was easily distracted. I was like, oh, let's go hang out with friends, let's go do things, and let's go socialize, and let's do all these things. But I wasn't putting as much effort. I tried, it just wasn't happening. Like episode 5's going well. I'm on scene 4. I think there's like 2 more scenes after that, but it's not. It wasn't like how I was with like episode 4 or the things before. It was like I was just I was like hunching over a tablet for an entire month, and I wouldn't do anything. This is what I need to do. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I was doing some other things like art and whatnot, but I wasn't getting anything done. And and it comes back to Monty. Like it just, I'm still processing this, because and I can't even imagine how, and that's bullshit. I can't imagine how his family and friends feel. I've experienced it plenty of times, way too many times in my life than I care to admit. Death of people very close. It's triggered me into suicidal thoughts and depressions and extensive things, so I can understand how they feel. But I will never say that, okay, yeah, I'm feeling the same level of pain as they are. I'm just not. I'm feeling it from a completely different standpoint, and that is, here's a person I respected, and I've never gotten the chance to meet him. I had the chance, and I didn't take it. But I guess the whole point of this is like this random vlog to discuss someone I never met that passed yesterday. I've read some really good things about Monty, and he said some really inspiring things. Basically, paraphrasing, it's like, if you have an idea, just do it. Just do it. Don't expect it to be amazing at first. I think I read that off Rubber Ninja's Tumblr. I think that's where I've read it. I'll link to the Tumblrs that I've read stuff about him on, because it's like the stories are really amazing to read and just give you such a great insight into what type of person Monty was. And that's how I always view things. Just do it. And this is what I tell people too. It's like, just do it. Don't like hesitate. Just do it. It's because you enjoy it, and eventually it's going to get to where you want it to go. Shattered Heaven's not where I want it to be yet. It's not. it might get there probably in Act 2, but right now it's not. And that's mainly because of the way I structured the first act and what I wanted to do with it. I didn't execute it the best way, but it was a learning experience. It was me getting over depression and struggling to do things, and I intentionally wrote out longer scenes than really needed to be like that length, mainly because I didn't think I could animate other things that I kind of wanted to start out with. So it was more of a, I'm not capable of doing this yet, so let's do something else that can be practice and get the crap out of the way. But I did it anyway, and it's worth it. I'm feeling a little more confident, and I'm getting a little further, and I'm seeing things go the way that I want them to go, and I'm excited, and I'm extremely disheartened that it's an experience I will never have the chance to share with Monty Oum, like at a convention. I can never have that chance to share that sort of thing with him. I've always been about trying to find other creators or peer groups. It's like I'm friends with a lot of voice actors, which is great. I love voice acting. It's fun. I do it on the side here and there, but not as often as I would like, because I have my own issues, shyness or whatnot. But it's like, so seeing their success is great, but at the same time, it's a different level of success. I don't feel like I'm really involved or really a part of that group. I don't have that many writer friends, so it's not like when I publish a book, it's like, hey, cool, writer friends, hurrah. My friends are, hey, I just got this, I booked this role and I can now talk about it. Oh my god, that anime is amazing, I love it. Oh my god, that's so great, you're going to do amazing. Or I just got this convention invite and oh my god, that's what I see, So I've always wanted to interact more with creators that had the same sort of passion. And I've had friends who attempted to do that, but they just, nothing against them, they just didn't have the same level of drive, I think, which is probably healthier because it kind of can get unhealthy to the extent that I was doing it. But, you know, I didn't, for the longest time, I didn't find anyone I felt like I could call a creative peer. I didn't start out doing parody work. I didn't start out doing fan work. I just started doing this, and that's such a hard thing to do. So, but I've been starting to feel like a part of the content creation community, you know, in a small scale. But I'm starting to feel like I am a part of it. And meeting Monty was always something I wanted. It was always a goal because I respected him a lot for Ruby. Still do. I enjoy Ruby for what it is. It's a passion project that he wanted to tell, and he's doing it. And there can be so many haters or people who talk crap about her or whatnot. And the same thing happens to me too. It's like same thing happens to any creator. And you know what? He's doing something. What are you doing? you know, Sitting there on the internet bitching, trying to bring down someone who's being successful. It's like, really? Come on. I've been fortunate to meet some other content creator friends, which is nice, but this one bothers me a lot. And I can just. The only memory I really have of Monty physically was being like maybe 5 feet away from the booth and just seeing him surrounded by Ruby fans just flocking to him at New York Comic Con and just being like, yeah, I really would love to talk with him about this stuff, about this passion and the same workaholic things, just to see how he thinks. But I was like, that's a lot of Ruby fans. I don't know if I can wait that long to even get a chance to talk to him. And I should have waited. And that's my one memory of Monty, was that I could have spoken with him. Don't know how that could have went. It could have went amazing, and I didn't do it. So my advice is, if there are people you look up to or things you want to do, don't wait. You don't know when your time's going to be. He was 33. That's still very young. So young, and it's unfortunate, but my way of honoring his memory is to go back to the way I was, but without the depression. Go back to the focus on, I need to get stuff done and do it, and not let things get in my way. Get my productivity level back to where it should be. That's how I'm going to honor him, is getting back to that and just getting stuff done. And while he may physically not be around anymore, the lives he's touched, the people he's inspired, and the legacy he's left behind, they're going to continue on. They're just going to grow powerful and a lot stronger. And he's going to be a muse to a lot of upcoming creators. So he's still around in that essence, and I'm going to do what I can to honor his memory by creating what I want to create and not letting anything get in the way, whether it's lack of resources, time, whatever, sleep. I'm just going to do it. So my condolences go out to his family and friends, Rooster Teeth, and I'll post the links to. I'll have the links to. I know there's a medical, fund that they're doing on GoFundMe. I'll link to that, and I'll link to the blogs that I read that kind of inspired me to, like, I should talk about this. So that's my really random perspective on this whole Monty thing. I've been thinking about it all day, and that's what I got to say about that. So if you're a creator, I hope you do what makes you happy. I hope you just do it, and don't worry about how long it takes you. It'll take the right amount of time for it to get where you want it to be. Don't feel rushed. Just work. It'll get there. All right. Take care.